Welcome, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. We do this show every Monday and Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on Stock Market TV. I'm back, first time in a while, doing the show. Always glad to be here. Joined today by my esteemed co-host and friend, Alfonso de Pablos. What's up, Alfonso? How you doing?
Hey, Steve. Everything good. Everything good. How are you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. I don't know if I'm having as much fun as you out there in Europe. A good weekend, good weather. You know, it's cold up north. I'm hearing horror stories. Probably cold where you are too.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
It's warm here.
That's true.
Listen, last week we had some fireworks. I thought, particularly beneath the surface. All right, so if I pull up like S&P 500 futures here, all you see is this big nasty candle on Friday. You had a red candle Thursday too, which kind of set it up. But when you look beneath the surface, some of the best performing stocks, right? Always going to look to Palantir first. It's been one of the biggest winners. You know, just the last 4 sessions, big selling. You could see it in certain growthy indexes like ARK, right? 4 big red candles. You could see it in something like small caps a little bit more than the large cap indexes. The market got hit last week. This morning, I'm seeing some long wicks for now, but I think we got to see how they close them because this is a bearish follow-through day until we see otherwise, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. One candle that caught my attention was mid caps testing that January lows.
Yeah.
And that speaks. That theme that you mentioned just recently, right?
Look at that. Yep. Is it a top? We'll see. The way I'm marking up all of these charts is just putting the VWAP. Sometimes it's the election VWAP, but for the most part, we're below the election VWAPs now. I'm dropping them from like the August 5th, and we're below a lot of those now too. So, you know, with every passing day and every, you know, new red candle we get in these indexes, I think there's more and more tactical damage kind of adding up.
Yeah, that's right. And as you mentioned, some big leaders like Palantir, Carvana, they could hit really bad.
Momentum trade is really falling off track here over the short term, at least for now. So
yeah, that's right. Sorry?
Let's dive into the request. What do you got for me?
Yeah, let's do it. Kareem asking us about Vale, V-A-L-E.
You know,
Brazilian company.
In a long time, Alfonso. So I'm eager to mark up some charts here.
Yeah, let's do it.
VALE. Overseas oil and gas, one of the big operators. Really, I think South America. I think Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Vale, but I think they probably operate in a number of the countries out there. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Here's the thing. It's not good, and it hasn't been good for a real long time. If you're getting into something like this is a long-term bet. If you're betting on some sort of, you know, if you're doing anything short-term here, here's the problem. If I flip it back to a daily, we're extended. We're just coming out of overbought territory, right? Don't even bother with the rate of change, but you could see in the RSI 14 here, running up into like a big level. I think if you were trading this thing, the trade's over here. Longer term, you would think if we are going to see another leg higher from commodities, if oil and gas are going to experience another, you know, bull cycle here, something like this works. So where do you get in? I think you can outline a number of different areas. So if we just look at the weekly price chart, the first thing I would do is throw a Fibonacci on this, and I got a colorful Fibonacci right now. Don't ask. So we're right at the 62%. Maybe play it off that 10 and change level, right? We're right there right now, and then maybe get confirmation at this VWAP from the 2016 lows. Confirmation there for a longer term trade. But for now, this is a primary downtrend. So you're trying to catch a bit of a falling knife here, I think.
Yeah. What it stands out for me, it's the relative trend. I mean, VALE relative to Brazil.
Oh, really?
It's trying to reclaim former lows from 2021, 2022. So that stands out to me.
This.
If you zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, this is interesting. You have a bit of a level here, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. That level. Exactly. Yeah.
Zoom in, you can see it. Problem with me for this, you're right. You're right. This is not the wrong analysis, but it is a low bar when you're comparing anything to EWZ, right? Benching anything against Brazil. I don't know. I don't even know if Brazil is the right place to go just yet for anything more than a trade. I think we need to see more from the whole region.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But yeah, I think on an absolute basis, if you pull up that chart again, for me, that the level that confirm, about trend reversal is if we can reclaim that VWAP.
Right here.
I think, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's still work to do, and it's kind of messy. So it's mean reverting right now, but not too strong, to be honest.
If this is not a top in crude oil, then that's probably not a top in Vale, right? I don't know if it's the best vehicle, but that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. Yep. And also it will help. I mean, copper base metals. It will help this stock. That for sure.
I'd rather own this one. How about that?
Oh, PBR. Yeah. I mean, it's an energy play. I mean, and if you put the XLE, it's pressing against that resistance level from of 2014.
Yep.
It's still absorbing overhead supply. So yeah, I think we have to wait a little bit more for energy, and this one definitely comes to mind for coming from international.
When I hear Vale, I think of Petróleo Brasileiro. These typically, first of all, I'll tell you, back when I was beginning my career, these were some of the hottest stocks. It was a commodity super cycle. People couldn't get enough of emerging markets. These stocks check both of those boxes, right? And when I hear Vale now, I think, what's PBR doing? I would much rather buy this, what looks to be a massive structural trend reversal. Vale. This looks so many times better than Vale. And if you want a level, I don't know, we're trading just south of 15 today, 17 and a half, maybe jump it at 17. If you really want to jump it, maybe drop a VWAP from the highs from just this time last year, right? This is a weekly chart. So you could do something like
I love that chart.
But you play this base, I think there's still a massive dividend here. It's a super risk on bet. You're basically long the Brazilian real. Yeah, look, you could jump it there. I don't know, pivot highs 50. But this base will
yield 18%. Is that correct? Yeah.
Can't be right. That's probably not right. No, you probably have to convert. I don't know. Maybe, but here's the thing with an 18% dividend. If it is right, it's getting cut because it's too high. Too high. But yeah, nice base shaping up here. What else we got?
I love this base because it's a confluence of resistance and the risk level is very well defined. So yeah, let's jump to Europe. Jazz was asking us about European financials. Let's take a look at that. And also, Nick was asking us about Italy, EWI.
Love EWI here. Here's okay. Two things. Massive breakout. I think you want to own these stocks. That's one. Over long time frames, they're coming out of I don't know, almost 15-year base, decade and a half long base. It might take time. It might be a little sloppy here. Don't get discouraged if this initial breakout fails over the course of the coming weeks, especially with the way the rest of the market's looking. Right. Yeah. So when you zoom out, this is it. I think this eventually goes. You have a clean level here at the prior cycle highs, a couple of clean levels, right? You could draw this a couple of different ways. You can bring that down to the 2018 high. That's a big one. Whatever. So 26, 27, the base breakout's in. I think you want to be patient though. Let me illustrate why that is. This is a daily. Let's flip it to the daily. We're overbought here. We're in overbought range. We've been overbought a good amount already this year. This trade could need time to cool off, I think. I don't want to chase something like, if you talk about some of the components of this index, here's HSBC. Again, looks fantastic. When I zoom out and show you the weekly, you're going to be like, oh, wow. But RSI was just north of 80.
Yeah, wow.
That's a monster overbought reading. It's not bearish at all, but that's over longer time frames, right? It does mean you could experience a little bit of a pullback here over the course of the coming days and weeks. But again, the situation remains after that potential corrective wave comes through. The situation remains is these monster bases that look like they're definitely going. Europe looks better. Why wouldn't these be valid breakouts? So I think this is a great place to build a list, a nice little wish list, right? And start to look and maybe add on some weakness or add on some strength coming off of weakness, a couple days, weeks, months out. So yes,
more. Yeah.
Did I hedge myself too much with that answer? I like it, but not right now.
No, I mean, it makes sense because in the short term, it seems a little bit extended. So when we have this massive basis and prices right there at the top of the range, usually it takes time to absorb all the overhead supply and then finally made a decisive breakout above these levels. So it makes total sense.
Look for a little correction into a little coil and then buy that breakout.
And it could happen. For example, when you showed the European financials, the first country that came to my mind was France, the ETF that it tried, I think, last year to break out. It failed, and it's just consolidating right there. It's kissing those former highs from the pre-financial crisis, and waiting for the opportunity, waiting for that moment to break out and start a decisive leg higher. So
right, and look at this chart, right? It's not that we don't think it's going to break out. It's just that it looked the way EUFN does now. It looked that way back in, I don't know, March, April, May of last year. So it's been a 12 months trying to stick that breakout. Could be the same case with these European financial indexes, but we like them over longer time frame.
Or it can break out, not having like a strong follow through, then correct and consolidate just above that level. So that could be another scenario.
Look out for that kind of action as well. We like that even more when we see it, right?
Exactly.
And then Italy, I heard Italy, EWI. Look, this is speaking of big bases, this is one of the better ones. When I look overseas, Italy reminds me of Greece, right? You look at this GREK. These countries all trade in a similar fashion.
Yeah, Spain too, Greece, Italy. We have big bases, big countries like Germany, France, pressing against new all-time highs. And other countries like Greece, Italy, Spain's trying to resolve higher from bottom information. So very bullish constructive action in Europe.
So this is what you do with these patterns. They're already coming out of these bases, and then they come out of these bases into these continuation patterns, right? So Greece, buy the breakout of this continuation pattern. What's that? 44. The question was on Italy though, EWI. Same thing. Only difference is you already got the continuation pattern breakout. That happened a few weeks ago now at this point, right? So it came out of this base, and look, I know I don't love the diagonal either, but it's there. You could draw this in a number of different ways. You could draw a giant like base breakout level here. I think you could draw through the stuff from way long ago, back in 2011, 2009. Okay.
Yeah, it's a wide range.
So yeah, it is. It's massive range. So here for EWI, either weakness back towards those pivot highs from last fall, that's like 39.50, or this one's on its way. I don't know if you want to chase it. It's not like too far gone. Weekly momentum, not overbought, nothing crazy. Daily momentum, it was just overbought. You got a little coil here, right? So maybe buy the resolution of this little coil. But you're already out of this bigger range that dated back to last year. So this is one of the better looking areas in Europe now, in a specific country level, I think.
Yep, I couldn't agree more with you, Steve.
I like Italy here.
Yeah. Now let's take a look, Daniel. If possible, I would like to hear your view on AMBA, umbrella.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's put the chart.
Semiconductors. Big base. Wow. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
Way out. You're going to see something here. There you go. Monster base. Actually been working on it for really 10 years now.
Yeah.
So I would draw this one kind of like this. Just forget it. We don't need these candles. So
Just drop the B from the all-time highs. I think that's the way to play it if you want.
be my next move. And it's going to come in right around the current price. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's really the level. And then confirmation at the pivot highs, which is a couple points higher, 81 and change. That's really it. You got a nice, you can see it on the line chart, right? Coiling right at this VWAP makes sense. Buyers and sellers battling it out at a big primary trend level. So
Yeah.
want to buy against the VWAP, you do it right here. And I think you get confirmation once we're back above and out of this little range I've just drawn that happens, 82, 83. Look, is there better stuff out there? Probably. However, if this ended up being a nice little, textbook trend reversal, I don't like how you got more of a diagonal situation here than a clear line. I like having a really clear, clean, horizontal breakout level line out of these bases. You don't have that here. You do have VWAP that's already been tested once, right? A couple of years back in early 2023. So I think eventually this could become like a new leader, but it's not a leader now. If, Ambarella relative to its semiconductor peers, just to give you an idea, it's been a long time since you could call it a leader, right? So this is one of those, I almost get like an eye roll when I hear Ambarella's like, no, Ambarella, like what? Ask me about Skyworks too, right? Just like secular laggard in the semiconductor space. So not to say it can't be a leader in the future, it's just it hasn't been for a long time. And you could see that in the relative trend. This is Ambarella versus its peer group.
Yeah. And what it's interesting for semiconductors, even though that they are not, working well in the past, they haven't breaking down from that relative trend that we have been following for a while. So I think that's good information at the end of the day.
How long have we had these potential tops drawn?
Yeah, exactly.
How many right shoulders are we gonna get? Right? Can't have.
At this point, we have a lot of them.
How many right shoulders do you want? Right? Head and shoulders, people. Is this how I'm supposed to draw it? Formed.
Just a top.
Look, to lose semiconductors, first of all, to lose them on an absolute basis, this is bull market over kind of stuff for me.
Yeah.
If you lose semis, absolute. But even to lose them on a relative basis, I think would be really surprising. And I think you could say similar things about home builders, right? If you want to have this conversation, speaking of drawing scary tops, I just can't see. I can't look. We're flat, unchanged here today. Last week was ugly for the homies. This is that other kind of group where I'm thinking of like, really, you're going to lose home builders? But here's the thing. If you look at home builders relative, gone.
They are very breaking down. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, be wary. You don't want to start losing these leadership industry groups like the homies and the semis. So already have one on that list that I don't love. I think you wrote about it last week. It was an excellent post. Yeah. So if that list starts to get longer of like these risk on offensive groups that are losing their leadership, I think you start to worry. So it's good as a bull. It's good to see this kind of situation holding up in favor of semiconductors.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You don't want to see semiconductors break down, especially on absolute basis, I will say.
It's never a good thing. So why are we talking this way about these stocks? They're the most important stocks in the world, right? The global supply chain lives and dies on semiconductors. They're in everything that's important these days. So it's really like, it's that economic bellwether group these days. You can't lose them. They're so important. So that's why we're talking this way.
Right. Yeah. Another important group we already covered European financials, but Hansen is asking us about Wells Fargo 3 months time frame.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like it on 3 year time frame.
Exactly.
right? Out of this
Yeah,
monster.
I mean, we finally broke out about that massive base. So I think
You know,
as long as we're above that prior cycle high from 2018, I think the bias is higher.
I think the bias is higher. I'm not going out buying this here. Let me show you why. We're buying Wells Fargo here. I love the idea of buying it here. This was back in late 2023. We had that massive rally that started off the October lows in 2023. This was a top, and then it wasn't, failed, and it had a massive reaction higher. Actually measured out pretty well off the COVID lows, 20, 55. But yeah, we measured about 35 higher. That was a great measured move, right? If you just measure that pattern out. And now we're there. We're pretty much there. Wells Fargo, in fact, off of those 2023 lows, has more than doubled here. It's Wells Fargo. It's Wells Fargo. Not like a buy now, pay later, speculative growth stuff. It's Wells Fargo. So it's gone a long way in a short time, and it probably deserves to cool off. Maybe there's a catch up in the smaller banks. I think that probably plays out. I don't think you chase Wells Fargo here. I think you let it come in. The banks, I didn't like the price action last week. Spooky price action last week. Rates came off in a big way on Friday. Banks still got slammed. I don't like that. If you are just so inclined to get long Wells Fargo right here, right now, this is it. This is your line in the sand. We have a pivot high from November. If we're below there, I think there's downside all the way down to these pivot lows, right? Which would get you back below 70. Right? That would be more than a 10% move from the current price. Probably don't want to be along for that ride. So call it 77.50. Below there, no, over the short term. Above 77.50, fine, great. And I think you get confirmation that a new leg up is underway once you take out that VWAP from the all-time highs that were made just earlier this month.
Yeah, I mean, if we break below the November 27 high, I think it will get messy.
Yeah,
right here. Will get messy.
Right. So if you're just dying to get in, I think you take a shot right here, but you keep it real tight. Because if we're below those pivot highs, like you're saying, I think you get a quick move down and maybe even fill this gap. At that point, you're talking about 66. That could be a big sell-off. And guess what? Financials have been really good for a really long time. If you got something like this that we got, after the election, another little corrective wave, it really wouldn't shock me here. They've held up really, really well.
Yeah.
And look at this, not that I'm a big momentum divergence guy, but look, momentum waning, broader market not looking so hot. I don't know. They're taking profits in market leaders, so I think the big banks could fall into that category, could fall victims to some of this profit taking pressure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Listen to how bearish I sound. I don't like anything here.
Sorry?
I don't like anything here. Do I sound too bearish today?
Well, I think the opportunities in the past 2 months has been aboard, in international equities, China. I mean, we haven't talk about China today. That's impressive, to be honest.
You know what I'm hearing about China today? The bears are taking victory laps because China's down a little bit today.
Oh yeah.
Love that. Love to see that. People are DMing me and replying to my tweets about how I blew the BABA call. Things up like 100% here in a couple months. One red candle. The bears are out. So love to see that. Sentiment doesn't even need to reset yet. It's still in the dumps when it comes to China.
No, but when it comes to China, I mean, the short-term trims are, extended, super oversold readings. So it makes sense to see some consolidation. Just look at BABA, 90 of our side.
It was at 90 last week.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, if you're expecting these stocks to keep going up, I mean, you're crazy. It's pretty obvious that it's it will consolidate. Just look at that vertical line from.
It was like this, just early October of last year, right? We had that big ramp up. This was all the initiation readings, right? The bullish momentum thrusts in China. Right, and then we got this big, nasty corrective wave. But momentum was, way up here around 90 back then too. And then it had to get completely washed out, corrected, and then we resumed. But what matters about this chart is not so much the overbought momentum. For primary trend traders, it's this. It's the situation of higher highs and higher lows as we climb up the right-hand side of this base, right? That's what really matters about this, right? They keep establishing higher lows and then higher highs.
And also that for the first time in years, price reclaimed the VWAP from the all-time highs. So buyers are now back in control.
It's such a big level. Such a big level.
Yeah, that 120 level, it's a big one for Baba. But
yes.
How about if we take a look at one of the tickers from chat? I see Mr. Servi over there, Wavy, always in the chat. So let's take a look at AEP. Wow.
It's pretty good. Listen.
I have to say this will be my favorite for of the day.
Request of the day, winner, ding, 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 ding. This is great. No, this is fantastic chart. Look, I'm the kind of person where I'll say, you know, come on, it's a bull market. Why are you giving me utilities requests? But this is good. This is too good.
Beautiful chart.
Here. You want a price target? Just measure it out. Something like this. It's so clean. Just measure out that base. So from 70 at the lower bounds to call it 105 at the upper bounds. You tack on 35. What's that? 140. So price target 140. Hey, look, that's a nice trade in the utilities name. So it should be slow and steady. Maybe they're doing AI things, nuclear things. I don't know. There are some nice catalysts in the utility sector right now, and you're going to get paid a sweet dividend along the way. So they're going to pay you about 3.5%. As you go. So yeah, look,
nice.
Utilities doesn't come to mind for me as a bull market vehicle. Great chart though. Great chart.
No, beautiful chart. Nice. That was a good request, Wavy. How about AMRX from Mr. Servi?
Mr. Serbi, New York Post, love it. Amneal Pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
Junky. This is good stuff. This is real junky.
2 billion market cap. Earnings in 4 days.
Great chart.
Wow. I mean, what a good chart. What a good chart.
Yep. All right. I take it back. This is my favorite chart because this is a bull market stock, right? all the things I was just saying about utility, I would say the opposite about something like this, right? Sketchy little biotech, small cap name. Ooh, you got the VWAP coming in. We're almost there. So we'll use that for confirmation. But I don't think you have to wait because you're coming out of a really nice base. I think you could just about say the base is in here, right? We've been holding above these 2021 highs since August of last year now, right? Just nice and tight, high and tight, right above this key. Look at this polarity zone that I've drawn here at 750, right? Big bottom there back in 2017. Then we blow right through during the 2019 bear market. Stop, pause, reverse there back in 2021, right? Build out a much bigger, longer term base, right? Which just means more fuel once you finally get that breakout, right? We like bigger bases. So AMRX took their time to get this done. Then they blast through those 2021 highs, coiled up here. I think you could buy the breakout of this little range, right? So let's say to be safe, $9. $9 is the breakout of this range. And then use this VWAP from the all-time highs for confirmation. That's at about 11.25, right? So you scale in 9 to 11.25. And then from there, I mean, if you're right on this and this is a valid reversal, I mean, boy, and it's a bull market and biotechs are getting hot again, I think you really want those old highs all the way up at, I don't know, 56.
Wow.
50? Yeah. That's it. So, all right. So what I say, 9, get you in, 11.25, get you confirmed. First stop, 25 is more than a double. And then if you're feeling real,
50?
What?
50?
50 final target.
Yeah, I like it. I love this.
5X.
Trend reverse.
Really nice chart. Never heard of this one. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
Yeah. I mean, and I like how tight it is right now. We have earnings in 4 days, so that could be the catalyst of a bigger move coming. So yeah,
you see that all the time, right? Where, like you're saying, earnings coming up here. What? Friday? It looks like. That's strange. Friday. Yeah, Friday before the open could be the catalyst to finally break this range out and really put the finishing touches on what is a massive multi-year rounding bottom reversal.
Yep.
Really good chart.
Yeah, that's right.
We got time for one more.
Yeah, let's do one more. Let me see in the chat. You will pick, Steve, okay? How about CRK, for Dave, or IoT?
Oh man, I'm involved in 3 of these names, so that's hard. I'm gonna say here. I'll give them to you quick. The C-Rock, I want it above 22. Speaking of a massive base, right? I'm not even gonna draw this. You could see it. It's huge. This is it for C-Rock. If you're above 22, I think this one goes a lot higher. A lot higher.
Clean. Yeah.
That's the level for me. I think you're gonna get it. You're gonna get a breakout in a big way, and this one's gonna be cruising. How high it goes, I don't know, but it's exciting because there's a ton of upside potential here. The other one, I'm not gonna touch on 4. I'm not involved in that one.
Dave.
I'm sorry. What was the second one? I was gonna hit.
Dave. D-A-V-E.
Yeah. So Dave, I bought this one.
Wow, what a chart! What a chart! What a pattern!
I saw this one, dude, and I liked it so much. I bought it ahead of this earnings report in early November of last year. So I've been in for a little while. I didn't get like a great primary trend reversal entry like I would have liked to. Kind of got in on the first continuation pattern right here. But now we're in the next continuation pattern. What tends to happen is these continuation patterns get tighter and more fierce as you go, right? Bulls are just piling in. The stocks get more and more resilient to the downside, so the coils get tighter. That's all you're seeing here. So I think if you're looking to get into Dave, you play this little range. And we're coming out of it right now. I don't know, 108, but it does have earnings coming up. Let me just check when. Oof.
On March 3.
March 3rd, week from today. Is that right? Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, look, this one, it's got the earnings trend is just so positive, right? These guys just beat and bust higher, just what they've been doing for a couple years now. Just go back and spot the earnings on their charts. You'll see. It tends to be a tailwind, not a headwind. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say, Fonz. Do we lose my camera?
I think we lose your camera.
Tech support. Bang. Look at me. Look at me, Fig.
Nice.
I joke, Gene, if it ever doesn't work out for me on the research side, I'm coming to work with you guys. I'm basically like I could fix I feel like I could build computers at this point.
You're an expert, yeah, at this point.
So look, Dave, use the pivot highs from December. 105, 106. It's probably going to be a positive reaction going into earnings. You can be more aggressive in bull markets. So I like this one a lot. And what was the last one?
And the last one was IoT.
Oh,
well,
the Internet of Things.
No name.
Internet of Things. Love what these guys are doing. Stock's been hammered. Stock's been treated like Palantir since last week, right? Big profit taking. Bang, bang, bang. Let it catch its footing. I think, if you have a position, want to protect it, and you want to keep it as tight as possible, use this VWAP from the lows. But I think I'm in this one for the long term. I love the story here. I love the fundamentals. Just slow and steady. Great business, industry leader. I think this one keeps working higher. I think this one keeps working for a long time. So
I think for this one, if we're above 42, that's the floor. That's the low from December. I think you can own it. I think the primary trend will stay intact.
I agree. So good point, Alfonso. Right? If you're looking to protect profits and kind of get out, I would use that VWAP from the lows. However, you can still sell down towards that level, and the primary trend can still remain intact. So it depends on your time frame, how you want to play this one. But I think there could be some corrective action in the coming months to even quarters for this name. It's been a real big winner for a couple of years now.
Yep.
That's all I got. You got any closing thoughts, remarks, anything that you're watching on this fine Monday morning?
Bitcoin. I sent you this morning a chart of Bitcoin with the Vale and bandwidth. It's getting very, very tight. So that's catching my attention.
We're on the edge, teetering.
Yeah. I mean, I think a big move is breaking out on Bitcoin.
Big move. So he thinks a big move is coming. You know what I think where Bitcoin's going to go? I look at its friends. I say, what is Bitcoin's friends doing? Solana completing a top, breaking down, disgusting. What's another friend to Bitcoin? Coinbase completing a top, breaking down, disgusting. MicroStrategy, right? All things that should look good in an environment where Bitcoin's good. MicroStrategy hanging on for dear life here today. One more
Yeah,
red completed the top, busting below that August 5th VWAP, just critically important. Everything is kind of on the brink of collapse here for crypto. Be careful with the Bitcoin. Do you disagree? I mean, is that the kind of thing that you're probably writing about today?
yeah. I mean, it's very interesting to see. Bitcoin friends that you mentioned before. I think Solana, it's been a good not the roadmap, but a good friend. A good indicator too. It has been holding better even than Ethereum. So, seeing Solana and these crypto stocks breaking down, definitely not good. But for me, when it comes to crypto, Bitcoin has the last word. So as long as we're above 91, I have to give the bulls the benefit of doubt. That's for sure.
We're holding for now. We're holding for now.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
holding for now. But also interesting to see how tight it is. So when we see price and volatility contract this much, a big move is coming.
I think it looks like Bitcoin's about to get slammed. Another thing I'll mention, if these headlines came out last year, these stocks would be up double digits. Pay attention. Coinbase on Friday announced that the SEC is dismissing its lawsuit. Several years been going on. SEC's been trying to come after Coinbase. Finally, just admitting like it was a BS case altogether. So that should have put a huge bid in Coinbase's stock. Instead, what happened on Friday? The thing broke down from a tactical top on that news. The best company specific news that Coinbase has had in years. Today, MicroStrategy, we find out Michael Saylor met with the SEC. If this news came out last year, MicroStrategy would be up 15, 20% on that. It's absolutely huge. Instead, what happens? We were down big on Friday. Downside follow through today. Looks like I said, let's see what happens. They bought it back up so far today. Nice long wick, long lower shadow, but big, positive, super bullish headline. Maybe the most bullish headline for MicroStrategy in years. And this is the price action. It just seems like a different kind of environment, a different kind of sentiment, not really bull market behavior that I'm seeing in
Yeah,
crypto, speaking. Yeah.
yeah. And look at Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum looks terrible right now. It's carving out like a flag pattern.
That's
So
that's a short
yeah,
below 2000. Short
yeah,
price target 2. It's really ugly. So
yeah.
I think beware of crypto right now. There's a lot of stuff working. Crypto's just not one of those places. There's a lot of places you can go and deploy some capital right now, make some bets on the long side. Crypto's just not it. I'm really taking a step back off the crypto, really reducing my exposure a lot. So unless you got anything else, we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah, I have nothing else. I have nothing else. I'm looking at the weakness in home construction stocks too. European countries looking good, looking strong. Latin American countries too. So it's like a bit bifurcated market right now. Areas of strength and other areas that look a little bit more vulnerable. And I think that's it.
New leaders are emerging. I think we should embrace them. We're getting some really nice rotation around the globe, and that's it.
Yeah, and I'm also looking, some risk appetite ratios, credit spreads. You don't want to see, for example, XLY, XLP um, um, to going down. That's for sure from a risk appetite perspective. That's what is happening right now. So
Looks
you don't want to see the defensive sectors and groups to outperform. That's for sure.
Yep, and they've started to. So let's see what happens. You don't want to see that be a failed breakout in the discretionary staples ratio. That ratio did just have its worst week since, oof, I don't know. God, you'd have to go back a couple of years. Worst week
Yeah.
in years last week. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Things to watch, things to have on our radar. Make a list. Make a list of bullish data points, bearish data points. See which one's longer. Weigh that evidence. That's really it. To stay the course in a bull market. Bonds, this was fun. Miss doing this stuff with you guys.
Man, it was really good. It was fun, and it's always good to see do some live charting with the people in chat because they always bring cool stocks.
It's always been my favorite show to do. So I appreciate the invite. It's nice to know you guys haven't forgot about me. So it's always fun to come back and do the show with you
You
guys.
can come whenever you want. You can come whenever you want.
I might take you up on that. All right. Thank you, chat, for coming and participating, keeping it interactive. You guys really make this show what it is. Couldn't do it without you. Join us again Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. What's that going to be? Sam and Pat? Is that Sam and Patrick?
It could be Sam Patrick, or I could be there. Let's see.
We got a lot of a lot of moving pieces over here. So somebody will be there. So join us on Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And in the meantime, join us every morning, Stock Market TV from 8:30, 10 o'clock Eastern time. The best morning show in finance. All right, everybody. Have a happy Monday.
Bye, guys.